Vampires, elegant, terrifying, and eternal. These creatures of the night have captivated audiences for centuries, from folklore to literature, film, and of course, our favorite tabletop and video games. Whether they are cunning masterminds or tragic antiheroes, vampires continue to sink their teeth into our imaginations. But where did these legends begin? And how have they evolved into the role-playing staples we know today? Grab your holy water and sharpen your stakes, because today, we're exploring the history, myths, and gaming legacy of vampires. Before we dive in, if you love deep dives into RPG lore, music, and storytelling, be sure to subscribe to Melodies and Monsters. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get started. Vampire myths date back centuries, with roots in Eastern European folklore. These early tales depicted vampires as monstrous revenants, corpses risen from the grave to drink the blood of the living. Common traits emerge across cultures: the fear of sunlight, immortality, an insatiable thirst for blood, and methods of destruction: wooden stakes, decapitation, and even garlic. These stories reflected societal fears of disease, death, and the unknown. By the 19th century, vampires evolved from grotesque creatures into more complex, seductive figures. John Polidori's The Vampire introduced the aristocratic vampire trope, an elegant, predatory nobleman. Then came Varney the Vampire, a serialized novel that popularized fangs, hypnotic powers, and sympathetic vampire protagonists. But nothing defined the genre like Dracula by Bram Stoker. This novel cemented many of the tropes we associate with vampires today: their charm, their curse, and their vulnerability to silver, stakes, and sunlight. From the silent era to modern blockbusters, vampires have ruled the screen. Nosferatu in 1922 gave us the rat-like, eerie Count Orlok, while Bela Lugosi's Dracula in 1931 defined the suave, hypnotic vampire. Later, TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, True Blood, and The Vampire Diaries expanded vampire lore with new twists on their mythology. Vampires in media are constantly evolving, from gothic horror icons to reluctant antiheroes. Tabletop RPGs have embraced the vampire mythos in fascinating ways. In Dungeons & Dragons, vampires are formidable foes, capable of regenerating, charming, and transforming into mist. Players must strategize carefully when facing these powerful undead. Then there's Vampire the Masquerade, a game that dives into vampire society, politics, and personal horror. This storytelling-focused RPG lets players become vampires, navigating a dark and treacherous world. The spin-off Vampire: The Dark Ages explores medieval vampire lore, bringing a historical edge to the game. Video games have given us unforgettable vampire experiences. The Castlevania series pits players against Dracula and his monstrous legions in a gothic action-adventure. Legacy of Kain takes a narrative-driven approach, exploring vampire existentialism and destiny. In Vampire 2018, you play as a doctor-turned-vampire, balancing morality with survival. And of course, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines remains a cult classic, allowing deep role-playing in a rich, supernatural world. Want to add vampires to your RPG campaign? Here are some tips. Create compelling vampire NPCs, enigmatic rulers, rogue hunters, or reluctant allies. Craft vampire-centric storylines, political intrigue, forbidden romances, or cat-and-mouse hunts. Balance vampire abilities. Give them strengths, but clear weaknesses to keep encounters engaging. Vampires continue to thrive in storytelling and gaming because they tap into deep, universal themes: immortality, power, temptation, and tragedy. Whether you're slaying them or playing as one, their presence in RPGs makes for unforgettable narratives. If you enjoyed this dive into vampire lore, Make sure to like and subscribe to Melodies and Monsters. Share your favorite vampire characters and RPG moments in the comments. And as always, keep your stakes sharp and your dice rolling. See you next time.